Okay, Norm.
Okay, first thing we'll do is take roll call of the Shade Tree Commission meeting for April the 3rd, 2025. Chairman Colton is here. Member Gordon,
He is here.
I think he's here. Member Gaudette, he sent a message saying he wouldn't be here. Member Kearns did send something saying he would be on Zoom.
Yes, he did.
Member Cronheim,
Here.
alternate Lutz.
Yep.
Alternate Armstrong, not here. And we have an empty space here on the roster, which says liaison. However, we welcome our liaison from the council, Jeff Weinstein.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
You lucky devil, you.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Can't wait to, looking forward to working with you.
So, the notice, since we have a quorum, the notice requirements of the open public meeting law for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and Poster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the Township Clerk on June 28th, 2024. This meeting will be recorded and available on Ocean Township's YouTube channel. Okay, we have minutes. People have a chance to review the minutes. If not, let's take a moment to, let's. Moshe, are you're with us? You're muted, so, okay, very good.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, excellent. If people, well, yeah, let me know when you've read the minutes, we'll take any corrections, and then we'll decide, hopefully, to approve.
I wasn't here, but I do have a question.
Okay.
The minutes talk about the land use ordinance fee of the $350 fee for trees. But since that's on private property, isn't that the purview of the Environmental Commission and of the Shade Tree Commission? So should we bring it up at the Environmental Commission meeting?
Well, the question was just brought up because we're curious what was going on. But I can't say that it wasn't brought up at the Environmental Commission.
Okay, just clarifying.
Right. Jack Kearns, maybe I should take this call. Hi, Jack. Okay, I mean, Moshe is on, so I think everything's up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you trying to get on with your computer? You know, you can just phone in also. If you look at the thing, you can call in just with your telephone. I would try the telephone that you're calling in. Should be able to get in. It's somewhere on that notice, there should be a way to figure that out.
Yes. Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Okay, we'll look forward to hearing from you. Okay, all right. Okay, so, any other thoughts on the minutes so far? Everyone's read them? Anyone care to make a motion about approving these minutes? Member Cronheim has moved to approve the minutes.
I wasn't there, so.
Okay,
Abstain.
okay, well, I'll make a second motion, so there too. So we'll take a vote anyway. I've seconded the approval. Okay, let everyone in favor vote aye, if you're not abstaining, aye.
Aye.
Moshe? Minutes are good?
Yes,
Okay, and Member Gordon, so meeting minutes are approved. So that being said, we'll start with our first agenda item. Number one, the tree removal applications, permits, and violations. And also, Mr. Brooks is here to enlighten us on that subject.
Did everyone get a copy of it? Okay. As you expect, spring is upon us. The incidents of, and number of tree removal permits are accelerating. The number of single-family home removals with dead, diseased, decayed, dying trees remains fairly constant, but we're seeing more small construction type projects on single-family lots, swimming pools, things of that nature. And as I indicated, there are a couple of large projects in the pipeline, one of which is the French-speaking church over there on Asbury Avenue, thank you. And Colleen Mayer indicated to me that that is no longer going before the planning board, but it is going to go before the zoning board of adjustment. And I can't tell you why that change was made, but it has been made. There are at least two relatively large single-family home development projects that are going to occur. The biggest one is over here on Sherman. There are 3 single-family lots in there. It was in all probability a subdivision, God knows how long ago, 50 years ago, whenever. But those lots are in existence. The permits they submitted were denied. They were submitted incorrectly. They did not come with a construction packet, no grading, no freehold soil, so I denied them immediately. There's a total of 300 trees proposed for removal, the bulk of which are black locust, sassafras, black cherry. There's one white oak in there they're going to try and save. I asked them, no matter what, save that one. But I think our best bet is to get as many new trees out of them and as much money into the shade tree fund as possible, because when you drive through there, nothing's been done on that property for in excess of 30 years. Nothing.
Is this right off Monmouth Road?
Yes, it is. There's the house on the corner, and it has been for sale for a long time. It was purchased right here, right direct Sherman, right directly across the street from the municipal complex.
Oh,
When you come out of the parking lot, you head right down.
Before it that Sherman.
okay.
It's going to be a goldfish bowl. We're going to get a lot of questions, and which is why I've been on the site with the principal and 2 of his professionals 3 different times, and I don't know why they submitted this the way they did. I guess they just wanted to get going, and the builder is a builder who has worked.
Oh, this is Jack Current. Am I connected?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack,
connected.
you are. Hi, Jack.
Very good, Jack. Welcome.
Okay. I have trouble getting on this darn thing. I don't know. But I can hear you okay.
Good.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Utility line clearance is proceeding. They're a little behind, but
Well,
we're,
just on
Yeah.
the one you were talking about, what's going on in Monmouth and Sherman.
yes.
Is there something we should be doing to limit this, or?
We can't really do anything until we have an appropriate filed document. And they have to file a written construction packet. That was not done, and there was some information on the tree permit that was incorrect. So I spoke to Colleen. I said, I want to deny this thing. There's no way we're going to accept this. And she agreed. So we did, and nothing has come back, and that has been almost 2 weeks. So it will come, but because it's in a goldfish bowl, we will hear a lot about it. So we want to make sure that we have all the answers first before we let them do it.
How many trees is it?
How many?
Yeah.
In total of the 3 lots, it's 315. But that's all second growth. There's nothing that was planted in there. It's just a jungle. There's a number of trees that are on the ground. It's horrible. It's a mess. So let's see what they come back with. And once they do, then I will tell them what they have to plant and or pay, or a combination of both. I'm trying to stress on all of these applications we get now with construction, give me trees back. I want trees back more so than I want money.
This is on the first block down on Sherman?
Yes, it is actually the second, third, and fourth lots on the right-hand side, the south side, I'm sorry. So that's the biggest one that's going to be a problem. Line clearance is progressing. They're doing a nice job. They're clean. They've taken at this point, I think probably a dozen hazard trees down that were in our right of way that were in danger of falling. And they've identified 3 more that are on the circuits they're doing now, which are east of Monmouth Road, and they're bad. You can see through the bottoms of them, you can crawl inside of one of them, so, you know, this is nothing you've got to worry
So
about.
okay, they started in Wayside, right?
Oh, there's a number of circuits that they're working on, and the circuits that are fed out of that substation, it isn't a logical progression like you figure it would just, this is then the next one, because these over here are actually fed out of the Green Grove substation, which is a long way out, and so, but that's the way they've got it set up. As long as they're doing it right, we're good. Beech leaf nematode and the emerald ash borer, the bacterial leaf source, is really nothing that has developed since the last time we spoke about it.
Nothing has developed like bad or nothing?
No, nothing has.
New. What do you mean?
There's no good news other than what I gave
Okay.
2 meetings ago, where they have a control for the beech leaf nematode, which is great,
Okay.
because they didn't think they could figure it out, and the scientists at Bartlett were the ones that found it and developed it, and they didn't, I don't know, they didn't patent it or whatever, so they disseminated it for everybody. Here's what works, here's how you do it, which I thought was pretty classy. So, and I forwarded that to you, did I not? 2 months ago, I think.
I can't.
Yeah, well, I have it, so if, we're not doing any spraying or anything like that, but I was toying with the idea of asking Mrs. Berkowitz if we could put it on the website, say, if you have beech trees and you're seeing this, it's very, you know, a public service thing, and just so the residents can call these guys or call their professionals and treat the beech trees.
I think that would be good with like an information sheet on what the beech leaf nematode is, or how to recognize it.
The whole thing is very well put together.
Maybe we can put that on the shade tree page, because it seems like a lot
Well,
of.
that's what
places.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get done.
Yeah, it'll be on our page, but I think Tracy could possibly put something on the front page.
So many trees is this affecting?
Oh, golly. Well, the concern was originally for the American beech,
Mhm.
and we were losing a fair number of them in the western part of the township. And it looked like there was no chance. And within the last year, they have developed a control. You can't prevent it, but you can control it, you can stop it. If the tree is, you know, less than 25% infected, it looks like it'll just knock it right the hell out. If it's 50%, it is a 50-50. It's more than that, you're probably better off. The control is probably a chainsaw.
Is there a time thing here, meaning that if somebody has a situation and they wait
It
2
doesn't,
weeks?
no,
does it go
no,
fast?
it does not, it's not that fast. It is a, it takes multiple years to take the tree out.
Right, but they've been there for multiple years in existence, right?
If you
That-
put it- my question was that if you put it on the shade tree site, how does anybody know that that's there?
You put a thing on the, you know, information, I think we should have a general thing, any information or questions about trees, go to this, or if it's something that we think it's a danger or urgency, then you would say, this is happening in Ocean Township, go to the shade tree site for, click here for information. It takes you.
We'll talk to Tracy about
I mean,
it.
it's just web
Things
management.
go on the
Yeah,
front page,
right.
there are things that go on.
She does.
Right, that's what I was saying, it should be on the front page to
It's
say,
put a
hey, if you have.
go-to,
if you have-
yeah.
And, you know, we can identify a specific thing, if you have beech
Okay.
trees, you know.
Okay, good.
Both county shade tree too, because they may well be working on something like this for their own site. And if somebody's already got it, I'll call them up and ask them if we can steal it and just put it
When a
on.
person has a sickly tree like that, they know it, is that right?
Sometimes.
Probably not the initial onset, but after a year or so, they're gonna look up and see that the crown is declining.
The real question is whether the public would know they have a beech tree.
We can put a picture of an American beech up there.
Which is more recognizable than most trees because the bark is so.
And the neat thing is they found it also works on all the European beech varietals, of which we have some down here, but not a lot, but it does work, so that's good. Bacterial leaf scorch, nothing. Water on.
Okay, I have a question for you on trees that are marked with red tape. next to the bridge.
Let me see, Corley's Avenue in South Edgemere.
Yes, just wanna know, like, that's for the bridge, that's for utility?
Okay,
or the
this
new pole?
surfaced recently.
And so everybody knows, there's a whole bunch of trees with red,
There's 11 trees.
11 trees on South Edgemere and Corley's with either in the, you know,
Yep.
either DEP or ours, I'm not sure who's.
They're on township property.
Okay.
That whole stretch there, everything on the lake side of South Edgemere belongs to the township.
Okay.
We determined that for sure today.
Okay.
Tracy has had me looking at this all week. Monmouth County Shade Tree knows nothing about it. The company, First Energy's contractors that are trimming our circuits know nothing about it. The company that trims the sub-transmission, the 34,005, and there is a leg of that, knows nothing about it. The surveyors for French and Perella, who awarded the original design study route surveying, they don't know who marked them. We did know, Greg Blash told me today that JCP&L has filed with the DEP for a provisional permit. But we haven't been able to ascertain exactly what that is. But my best guess is looking at that bridge, which was built in 1941, and those are the original piers that it's on, so that's pretty impressive. This is the bridge on the end of Corley's from Ocean into Allenhurst. It is scheduled for replacement. The bridge number is 012, if you're inclined to track it. Yeah. I learned a lot about that bridge. My best guess is when you look at the bridge, there is some erosion at the corner of the bridge, which would be normal because of the slope. I think when they put the new bridge in, that abutment, I think they're going to put a return in there to tie it back into the bank to stop the erosion. So those trees would have to come out.
Yeah, that was my guess, is that it was the bridge or the new.
But because they have filed for this, it's not a letter of interpretation. I know it's not permit by rule. I don't know if it's a finding or this, whatever this provisional is, I've never heard of with the DEP, but that is neither here nor there. We're looking into it.
Okay.
3 to 4 months before they have a public announcement on the bridge, and probably at least a year before construction. I did find out late this afternoon that Allenhurst wants that sub-transmission line, 34,500 volt line, to go underground. And that is apparently the sticking point right now in this. But that is secondhand. I don't want to stand on that, but I was told that today from our engineer, and then I called somebody that I know in the construction division at JCP&L. He said, yeah, there's some discussion about what's going to happen with that line. So my guess is it's all tied into that, but the bottom line is we really don't know anything.
Okay.
It's not just underground, right? There's water there.
Well,
But
yeah,
you
but they would
drill
put it
under-
right down
you know.
in, they put it below the lake in the sub, they directionally. That's how they do that. So that's what that one is, and really, unless anybody has any direct questions for me.
I have a question.
Sure.
With all these applications that are coming in, I mean, some trees are getting removed, some trees are
Yes.
getting replaced. How are we tracking all of this?
We are trying to get jungle lasers, and you and I have had this, that is the stumbling point. That is a really user-unfriendly system. Colleen said, asked Kim Dalton and myself, what would be the easiest way, and we told her. And she has reached out to them for them to develop something where I can just give you a monthly report, this many trees, this many single family residence trees of that, so many and so forth were dead, disease, decay, dying, and the 3 live that a resident is allowed in any 5-year period. So it just isn't, you would have to literally go through and yank the permits in and do it. We don't have a way to enter it at this time. That's what they're supposedly trying to get for us.
I mean, it's been going on for months. I could do
Years.
this. I could go do this in an Excel spreadsheet.
I mean,
Sir,
tree keeper doesn't work for this.
I understand that. The problem is not what to put it on. The problem is to draw it out of their system, which is horrible.
Yeah, my concern is that all the applications are piling up, nobody's entering it, and we're just gonna lose track.
Well, no, the applications are entered. we can go get it property by property. In other words, I can go in and pull up 1234 Smith Street and see what we did, but then I've got to write it all down. Then there's no way I can, so supposedly they're working on a fix for this. Look, you're a hell of a lot smarter computers than I am. And I acknowledge that, and that's great. But right now, it's very frustrating for me because the number I'd really like to give you is how many live trees have come out without replacement.
Right.
And that is a function, that's where I'm the most concerned. We're losing, maybe that's the wrong word. We're not getting mitigation for a tremendous amount of trees that are being removed totally legally as our ordinance is structured. But it'd be nice to be able to track that, and hopefully, we just really started going after them in the last 4 weeks. And Colleen has really been after him, and she's very, very sharp.
Tell her that if they don't get it fixed, we're gonna bring in Elon Musk.
No, oh, dear God, don't make a joke.
I'm not sure if that's gonna be particularly effective.
Or,
Now, what about this? No, let me ask this though. So when people apply for permits, right, they just come in with a permit, you go out and check the trees that they say they want to take out.
Right.
Maybe we need to have people also provide properties, photographs of their properties, so we can go
We
back and
are
know
accepting-
what else came down.
We are accepting photographs. And what I do is I use Google Maps. And I try and go back as far as I can to see, what it looked like a year ago, if I can, or whatever the time bracket is. Well, now wait a minute. Either this was the most clever tornado in the world because it took them all down, took them off the property and pulled the stumps out when it did it, or you're not telling me the truth.
Yeah, and I've used Google Street View for the same.
I use everything that I have at my disposal to do that. And when I walk out there, I can look at a piece of property. Oh, no, there are trees out here.
Yes.
You start walking around and find the soft spots where the stumps were.
So-
No.
so does the tree keeper app I thought tree keeper was compatible with.
But that's right away trees.
No.
That's
right-of-way
only right away.
Yeah.
That's
Tree
the right of way.
keeper has anything you put in it, except that we ourselves, as far as we're only authorized by the state ordinance to work on trees in the township's purview. So trees on private property are a whole separate issue. That's why the shade tree ordinance originated in the Environmental Commission.
Right.
And so,
I just thought maybe the
for
tree keeper
residential
could be
property,
expanded
residential properties and
to do
everything.
that.
But the Shade Tree
That would be
Commission is really supposed to just be
Wrong.
township properties, and that includes, parks, the schools even.
Public land,
Even the schools are not part of the Shade Tree Commission's purview,
that's private property, they own it.
but they own it. However, when it came to the survey that we were doing, the thin tree keeper, we coordinated, I met with them, and they joined in to be a participant in that survey project.
I know what you're saying, Ken.
Yeah, no, and it's not
You know,
your fault.
yeah.
I'm just afraid things are gonna get lost in.
Well, I'm filing them differently than they were filed prior to me. I make a copy of the permit, and if it's got a full-size folded up 25 by 36 survey, no, I don't have the room for it. And then I file it by year, and they're filed by street, and then they're numeric on the street. So if you know the address, you can yank the permit and you can see my comments. And I have a hard copy of that as well. So not only is it in the computer, if you could get it out, y'all are smarter about computers than I am, I acknowledge that, no problem. But there is a hard copy, and right now I have hard copies back through 22.
All right.
So point number 2, we have point number 2?
Yeah, we need to go.
Okay. The next item is to hear from the Shade Tree Commission Planning Committee.
Okay, it's me. So, just to give you an update of who all we've been meeting with, we've met for input from key stakeholders who would be interested in where we put trees in the township, which would help us with the community forestry management plan, part of the requirements to meet the stakeholders. Now, the Garden Club, Deal Lake Watershed Association, Deal Lake Commissioner, Whale Pond Watershed Association, and our wonderful meeting at TOSA with the Township Ocean Sewage Authority, Tim, the new executive director there, and he's going to be providing us with a report about what he thinks some of the flooding issues are and where trees might be helpful. So that was kind of fun. I think I might have been the happiest person leaving the sewage authority ever. It was a very fun meeting. So that was.
I wouldn't brag about that.
I know, it was good shit. So anyway, and then as you know, we've been working on the video to promote the survey that's going to be going out township-wide. It will be going out through Backpack to the schools in cooperation with the school district. And
Does Jeff know about the survey?
Yes, I told
Okay.
Jeff about the survey. And it will be going out, it'll be on the website, there'll be a QR code on the website as well. It will be in the newsletter that's coming out, the spring newsletter with a QR code. So everybody who gets the township newsletter will be able to access the survey. So we're ready to go. We're ready to present it to the township on April 10th, the next council meeting. The students will be presenting the video and some of the work they've done on trees. They have some wonderful things they're going to be doing. So that's kind of fun. And I've got it up here. The screen share works. If not, I will use my. Can you share the screen?
I already did. You have it.
I have it. Okay, so let me see what I have to do. Okay. Dum, dum, dum. No, it's not gonna
You
let
have to
me.
give it a little arrow on it.
It's not letting me do it. It bumped me off to
Yeah,
do it. So
I don't think she's sharing anymore.
I don't think I'm sharing more. I'm just gonna use my laptop, and anybody who wants to see it, who's watching from home, you can come to the council meeting or go to the website, April 10th.
We're giving up on.
It's challenging. It was not easy to do before, unless you can reshare it with me.
I can't because I'm sharing my screen with you already.
Huh, well, it bounced off the thing. Let's see. Give it a second here. Let's see if we can do it. Bum, bum, bum. It doesn't even have as an option for me to click on. I think let's call it quits on this.
All right.
And I'm just gonna play it for you all
Okay.
here at the table, so you can see it.
Mhm.
And I said, April 10th, council meeting, be there, be square. Okay. Volume.
Can you have to dismiss yourself from the screen.
Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, let me get, I just love technology, making our lives simpler. Am I gone? I'm gone. I'm gone. Okay. All right, let's try this again, shall we? Here's the video. See?
Hi, I'm Emma. And I'm Bella. We're students at Ocean Township Intermediate School. We're teaming up with our local Shade Tree Commission on a survey that will help us create greener and healthier communities in Ocean Township. Take our survey so we can figure out where you think more trees are needed.
Hi, I'm Toshi. Did you know that trees like this one protect our precious waterways, like we have Palm Springs here?
Trees prevent flooding, and we need trees to provide shade that will lower temperatures on the hottest summer days.
Trees lower carbon emissions and help us all breathe easier.
Trees make us healthier. They clean the air we breathe, and they're beautiful.
Trees are fun. Imagine a world without trees. What would we do?
And having access to trees is a right for everyone in Ocean Township. Please complete the attached survey. Your participation ensures that trees will be planted where they are needed most. Let's work together to keep Ocean Township green for us and for future generations.
Nice. Have you ever done this before? How was the response?
I'm sorry, have I done?
Have you ever done a survey like this?
No, I haven't done a survey like this in a town before, no.
Do you know what we're expecting as a response? People to actually
No,
take the survey?
it's a mystery.
Have you seen the survey?
I have not seen the actual
No, I was
survey.
gonna ask.
Okay, maybe you could.
Yeah.
I'll share it in an email.
Yeah,
with
I'd
everyone.
love to see it.
It's the email, and the survey is bilingual, it's in English and Spanish, questions in English and Spanish, and people who speak other languages, because it lives in a Google survey, they have the translator, Google Translate available, so anyone who speaks a different language, generally knows how to use Google
Nice job.
Translate, because that's how they navigate. I'm sorry, what?
Did a nice job.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
both
It was really a hard-working committee. Angela did a lot of work. Julia did a lot of work on the maps for the survey that's going out. So people, when they take the survey, will be able to select where they live. We use the voting maps because they line up very well with the different areas of town, including the overburdened communities. Because we want to make sure we have a lot of response people who don't generally have a lot of representation in town. So basically the apartments with 35, that area.
When does the survey run through?
We're going to run it for a couple of months, I think is the plan. We're really going to run it as long as we can before we need to get some of the information to do the community forestry management. So that was sort of what the committee, and I have a thing I'm going to share with you that I shared with everyone a year ago, that original planning of what this committee would do. Remember that long document I wrote that everybody edited and thought we talked about? Turns out we've actually done a lot of that. Not exactly the same way, but the whole idea was to get engagement. So that's the plan. So we're hopeful it will be an equitable, really an equitable representation.
So it's going out through the school district and it's going
School
out.
district, website, newspaper, it'll be on the newspaper, and hopefully there'll be some press at the council meeting as well. I've sent out some press releases, Coaster, Tri-City News, not edgy enough for them probably,
Okay.
but, we'll, see if people show up to listen to the kids.
I'll tell
That's
you
great.
what, I bet you give me a little bullet point thing, and I'll attach to the damn tree removal permit for you if you want.
Oh, that'd be sweet, sure, we got something I can send.
We could, yeah, I'll print it up, and I'll just staple it right to it, they'll get 4 sheets instead of 3.
And they can go to, it'll take them to
Just
the
put a QR code on it.
QR code. Well, I want them to, if they go to the website, they can see the video and the QR code. The QR code doesn't get you to the video, it just gets you to the survey. We couldn't link the two of those.
Yeah.
So something we could do that kind of post it on Facebook.
It could be on Ocean Cares,
Yeah.
if you want to post it on Ocean Cares.
Yeah.
Let's not to stop the, let's try and move on, just, I'll try and cover a couple more things.
Okay.
Okay, well, just 1 second. So if we can figure out how to make it part of the social media campaign, that'd be great.
Great, if you want me to
Yeah.
talk about that, we
Yeah.
can
Right,
do that.
Yeah, I can get everybody kind of popularized and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll have to ask Colleen, I'm sorry for you to attach that to the removal form, but I think she'll let me,
Okay,
maybe for a little while, and if not, I'll call you and we'll figure a way to get it out there.
good.
If I can help, I'd be glad.
It's
Great.
exciting, I think
Great.
it's exciting.
Okay, so one of our first projects that.
I have a question.
We do something about.
Hey,
Moshe has a
Jack,
question.
Yes,
Where will the video and the survey be posted? Which website?
It'll be on the front page of the Ocean Township website, and it will also be on the Shade Tree Commission page.
Oh, wonderful. And also, did anyone check the translation provided by Google Translate? Because once in a while they make a mistake.
Well, we checked the Spanish and the English are embedded into the survey itself, and we know that they're correct. We checked that. All the other languages, no, that's going to be a Google Translate thing, because we don't have that.
it's fairly straightforward. It's not a humongous survey.
But the
No,
Spanish
but
was not-
Google Translate sometimes makes mistakes.
Yeah. Well, we unfortunately, we don't have that capacity, and the school didn't have the capacity to go beyond Spanish and English. Because we were relying on the school for that part of it. But we do have it checked in Spanish.
As long as you have a Spanish speaker that
Yes.
can attest to the validity of the language.
Yes, we did.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so one of the projects that we were gonna try and get some trees planted finally was on Colonial Terrace. There were 2 parts of the project. One was replacing some trees that had died, ornamental trees, like cherry trees. The other was to remove a bunch of black locust trees that were a disaster, and then put up on the Asbury Park Circle side of the park in Colonial Terrace, some things that will screen that park.
Replace the dead cherries.
Right, and replace the few cherries that have died, in addition. So, so far, though, there's two aspects of that. So we haven't actually had an official, I believe Public Works is supposed to take those locusts out.
All the trees proposed for removal have been marked. Mr. Higgins and I were trying to get there yesterday, and he had to leave, and then I had to leave today. So I will call him, and I'll get him out there either, well, I'm not coming, pardon me, first of the week, Monday or Tuesday.
Right, so anyway, so that part of it, they're gonna do that, and then there's some stuff where, I can't remember the name, but Bill always does.
Garland,
You put that on the stumps, and they'll rot out in a way, because if certain types of trees, tree of heaven, black locust, if you just cut them down, okay, the tree will say, oh, I'm in trouble, and start saying trees are from all the roots. Like the cigar alarm will prevent that from happening. So once that happens, then, and you're confident that that's not happening, then you can grind the stumps and get rid of them, okay?
it's a non-migratory woody stem herbicide. It is authorized for use near water, the Garland tree.
Yeah,
So
okay?
you're on track for Colonial Terrace.
Well, we're not
Next
quite
thing
on
is get the
track.
trees out.
Well, we're not on track, because that's part A. That's, now, after that, we then have to get some trees in there, okay? And we also have to decide exactly which trees to plant as the evergreens that we're gonna plant along, the circle. Because some people say that it should be native trees, but native tree doesn't mean what it used to mean in New Jersey, because there are a lot of trees that never were native, but there's more of them than there are native trees now, in some cases. Like Norway spruce is a good tree, and they're everywhere, and that's probably a reasonable candidate to use there, along with Eastern red cedar, which is a juniper that, might also be, and so on and so forth. So, but somehow we've got to decide what those trees are and get set up so that once those stumps are done, we've taken out the dead cherries, we can get stuff in there. At least watering wise, which was always a problem, which kept us back from doing a lot of stuff. There is a water truck that the town now owns that could go out on a semi-regular basis to ensure survival, in addition to using those alligator bags.
Gator bags.
Gator bags that they put around trees, okay? So I just want to give an update that but that stuff we got to get caught up on. But we're making something resembling progress.
Does the Garland stay in the soil so it would affect new plantings?
No, it's non-migratory. It stays within the confines of the tree root system itself. You can literally use it right next to the spring. The 40 can, it's oil based.
Okay? Then the tree giveaways, okay? So historically, we've given away trees. The third grade trees started, I can't tell you how many years ago. It was an environmental commission project. And the giving away trees, when they started Greenfest, we started to give away trees to the townspeople. People would come in and get trees. There were a couple of programs where we got free trees for both of those things for a while. Those are currently dormant. Okay, the state stopped giving away third grade free. So we're buying those trees, we're getting seedlings, and so on and so forth. So, that being said, on the April 27th, I guess it is, the Sunday, that's the day we're gonna be at the senior center giving away seedling trees to those who come from, say, 10 to 2, okay? The garden club is offered to assist. They've got some people gonna help. I'm hoping that some people who are directly within the range of my voice and maybe eyesight at this moment also come out to help.
Be there.
And, so we're getting 300 trees for that project. And the school system, we're gonna get 275 trees. Okay, the way it's running now, they'll go to the third graders in the Ocean Township school system. And the Hill School used to, but they figured, that's for sure they get them. So they're gonna be more like the other two people that get them, is the Schwartz School and Search Day and Hillel School. They'll get some number of trees, 15 trees or something like that. So we're getting 275 total trees. And the trees I decided to order is white dogwoods, flowering dogwoods. So right there with seedlings, we're ordering 375 of them. 275 for the schools, 100 for the giveaway. The other things we're going to get for the giveaway are 50 bayberry, 50 beach plums, and 50 white oak. Oh, we went this one. Oh, and 50 loblolly pines. So that gives us 300 trees that will be given away at the giveaway.
And the funds, the cost of the funds for these?
Well, Dave has already coordinated with the funding. We had originally said we authorized up to $600 to buy trees. And the total bill for everything is $902.50.
So it's coming out of what? Where's the money?
Well, I'm not sure where it's coming out of. Never left a gift check in the mouth.
So is it coming out of the, I mean, sorry, is it coming out of the Shade Tree
Yeah,
Fund?
I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I'm not sure. I'm still trying to get a copy of my actual Shade Tree Commission budget, per se, and find out what the money from last year's budget was spent on.
Well, we had the 3 years, I remember I gave you the 3 years of where the money was, the last 3 years, I could do all those figures, everyone got.
But I'm just talking in general,
Okay.
to figure out what's going on. Because one of the things that our budget does cover also is, which isn't that much money, is our dues to the New Jersey Shade Tree Federation. Now, let me ask this, has anyone been getting the Shade Tree Federation quarterly magazine? Okay, so when we get the form in for this year, make sure you put it comes two ways. You can get it in the mail, it's about yay big, or you can get it in an email. I think I'm getting it in an email, okay? And I have got to admit, I've been lax in not forwarding that to everybody, but we'll go back and see, the 27,000 years of looking at it. But anyway, but that's worth getting. Sometimes it's just whatever, but sometimes it's had some very interesting stuff.
So on the tree giveaway, is everybody feeling good about what we're doing?
Excuse me?
On the tree giveaway, is everybody feeling good about what we're doing? I don't know anything about the trees you mentioned or anything, so I just.
Yeah, we've had pretty good results. We've had pretty good results with the giveaways the last few years. Okay, people have taken them. How well they're surviving, we tell them, a couple of things. One, to protect them from the deer. Two, we even advise if they're small and they've got like a 3-gallon container, you can grow it for quite a number of years till it gets a little bigger. That'll be more likely to survive when you put it in the ground. As long as you're still protecting it from the deer, like the more likelihood these days. And
I guess just generally, everybody feels good about the mix of trees and.
Yeah, I mean, dogwoods, people like dogwoods and they don't like to plant big trees, and dogwoods aren't really big
the
shade
trees,
trees, they're just kind of
each year
ornamental trees.
when we were getting the free trees, we didn't know what we were going to get. We knew we were going to get 300 or 400 free trees. When I would pick up the bag, literally, I would find out what trees were in the bag.
Okay.
And so last year, for example, there were sweet gum trees with the balls. Okay, we didn't give them out.
Nobody likes it.
And there were black walnuts, another big tree that's allelopathic is the magic word. It means that tree inhibits the growth of other plants, so we didn't give them out. Plus, they dropped the walnut, So, but the rest of this stuff, but the flowering trees always go first.
And just on the budget, which you should brought up the topic, we want to do something about trying to find out, do we have something that allows us to know what our budget is?
Well, we do. I'm trying. We're gonna get to that. Meanwhile, Donna has already sent the purchase order to the Forest Service. After I sent the order, purchase order to follow. The purchase order has followed, and most likely I'll be picking them up and stashing them in the refrigerator at the senior center for a few days, and I'll be coordinating with Recreation about getting the door opened on Sunday at tables and stuff like that.
I don't have a way of checking this except my own recollection, but this is probably the 40th year we're giving trees out to third graders.
That's
how
pretty
long
cool.
it
That is something else that should be on that website, recognizing. Pick 40, nobody's gonna, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, when
I
I
still remember the first time, the managers' conference room looked like it was in a hurricane.
Does it have to be advertised, or is it just, how does it?
Well,
give it to us.
Donna's gonna put some stuff up, and the garden club's putting some stuff out. Ocean Cares and whatever else.
And do we put it in the coaster, or do we put it, we do put it, I believe, in local papers, I thought I.
I haven't, I'm not sure, we'll have to check into
Well, we'll
that.
check.
I guess just in general.
The one thing we are
I guess just in general, all these things.
Get an article and give it to us.
like me and the rest of the council do, well, we can figure out how to get it to our people, and we can kind of, promote it that way also. So the more we can do that.
Right, yeah, yeah, in the past, the other one, when we got the stage trees, they were good for anyone in New Jersey, but we are putting that, they're for Township residents. Although if a few stragglers show up from somewhere else.
So, Donna, are you the one who kind of puts this together? Are you the one who kind of puts,
What do you mean, put it
like
together?
an announcement or who does that?
Well, in the past years, we've gotten flyers from the state announcing the reforestation from Superstorm Sandy.
Mhm.
And I print those flyers out, I put them on, I put them in town hall, and then I also put them on social media.
Okay.
I always put an announcement at time, date, and place,
Mhm.
and what type of trees are available.
Okay, cool.
And we do get it out.
Okay, cool.
So you'll
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, we'll have to look, I'm looking for the things, like one of the things we had when we did it the last times was, we had a picture of each tree.
Of each
There's
tree.
some information about it, okay? Well, I found out from the state, when I talked to Jackie Stark over there, that was a shape, what do you call it, the Arbor Day Foundation thing. So I've got to call them, well, I think somewhere on my computer that died, and I'm having trouble when I recovered it, missing stuff. Anyway, the bottom line is that we want to have those same things, I gotta find them.
Okay.
Okay. So that made it easy when people came to see what they were gonna get.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, so.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes,
Hi, my name is Maura. I live in town and I'm joining for the first time. Sorry, I can't be in person, but I have little kids. When you say like the trees for the schools, does that mean they're like donated to the schools or they're for the school for the kids to put in the ground on the property? Or my kids go to Wanamasa Elementary and I'm on the gardening committee, so just wondering for our interest.
well, the ones that go to the schools are nominally for the students to take home.
One tree per student.
For their,
Got it.
for their home.
Okay?
Okay, cool. Okay, thank
Okay?
you.
Directions that we'll share and so on and so forth.
Cool.
But for third graders, not for every grade.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I was just thinking about our gardening committee if there were trees for that, but I went to the day
Well,
last year
well,
and we can utilize that too.
On the 27th of April, we're
Yeah.
gonna get 300 trees at the senior center. That has
Yes.
nothing to do with the third graders, okay? Anyone in town can come and get some trees.
Yeah, I got one last year. Thank you.
So the garden committee can come
Yeah.
over and get trees and plant them around the school.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Right.
Also, I'm assuming that the school trees are actually seedlings, so they're easy to transport.
Well, yeah, everything we're doing is a seedling. Okay? They had these things called tubelings, which are even smaller than the seedlings, but they're out of tubelings and they cost more anyway, so there you go.
Let's go to the next one.
Okay, so the next thing is the community forestry management plan. Okay? So we've had 3 community forestry management plans that we've written and put together. The other one, the last one would have been done in 2019, but because of COVID and they were changing what they wanted to see in one of those plans, everyone got extensions, okay? So this is the year that we have to, by the end of the year, submit our plan for, which includes this year nominally, and the next 4 years, okay? And this whole, without getting into it here, there's a whole set of rules, rules and so on and so forth that they want to see. And right now, there's also a grant that I thought, I gotta talk to Julia when the next meeting is, because she was either gonna do it or we'll get together.
The council voted a resolution that we could apply for the grant. I believe the grant's being applied for. So I believe she did it.
That's what I'm saying, I'll find out, I hadn't heard.
Yeah, you'll talk.
I hadn't heard.
But this is in response to the.
This is to pay for, in response to proposals, to pay
Right.
for a certified arborist who writes these plans to do the plan.
Right, and so far, and I don't know if we're gonna try and get any more, we've got 2 proposals.
This is it. This is the 2 proposals. I made at least 12 phone calls on the recommendations of professors, as I mentioned at the last meeting. The recommendation of Rutgers professors, the head of the DEP forestry, Patrick, everybody who had called was already, someone who was known for doing a good job with these plans. And towns are hiring people left and right to do this. These were the folks who were highly qualified and available.
This is your recommendation, Ms. Sterling, this one?
Well, I haven't officially made that recommendation, but
Oh.
that is going to be who I recommend. Yes, having talked to her.
Do we do this now or do we do it another?
I would love to do it now because we give these people so we can get on their calendars. Otherwise.
So you met them?
I met with them on the phone numerous times. I've talked to them on the phone. And they're both highly qualified.
And both people who replied.
Yes, this Elizabeth and Ted, Elizabeth Stewart and Sterling, Ted, they both are highly qualified.
Yep.
The difference between them really is that Elizabeth's a one-man shop. And she's very busy. She has another job and she does do these, but every meeting with her would probably be virtual. She doesn't have the capacity, I think, to come down and be with us. Sterling is a two-man shop at least, sometimes more. They have GIS capacity as well. They have that as a side gig. And they're really excited. They're both would really love to do this, but I think that that Sterling is really the sweet spot of big enough to get the work done, but small enough to have a personal. They're not just putting our name on a boilerplate.
Did you reach out to Mike Lamanna by any chance?
I did call. I believe he was not available. I called Bill Brash. I called.
Bill is now head of training at the Shape.
And I've cross-referenced all these names with all of these people too. I mean, what do you think of this one? They were all very, forward. They said, yeah, these are good. These people got, good references from a few people.
So I reviewed both of these proposals. The one from Stewart, first of all, is more expensive than the other. It also looked like just a form that she puts together and puts Ocean Township on the top and bottom, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think she'd do that in the work, but I think.
But also, I didn't like the idea that every meeting was going to be by Zoom, whereas I thought Sterling was far more complete, much more detailed, and they would schedule in-person meetings, and
Can we do something with that now? Or?
And they also guarantee that the plan they submit is going to be approved, and they will continue to change it until it is approved.
I like that too.
Right, so I think given that we've got two proposals, right? And we're waiting, I'm not sure whether we're gonna wait for the grant or because we have to do this anyway, under any circumstances, okay? So I think at least we can vote on who we want to do it with, and then we'll figure out where the funding's gonna come from.
Right.
I thought when I did talk to Dave, he thought that this was, like we put out the RFP knowing we were gonna be able.
Yeah, they get these.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, but for now, I would say, rather than, we're not gonna sign a contract ourselves anyway, but we should recommend to Dave that our commission's recommendation is that we go forward with this Sterling.
I agree. I think it's a good choice.
So I'd like to move that we go with the Sterling proposal pending
We'll make the recommendation to the township manager that this be the proposal, and then, we will find out more during the environmental commission, whether Julia, was applied for the grant, received the grant, etc.
So
Anyway, I'd like to move that we recommend Sterling.
I would second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Moshe, Jack, okay to vote?
The thing, I've been with, as you guys are doing, I think there's a lot of energy being around that room right there. And I would especially encourage the lady from the school to spread the word around the schools too, with the other mothers and, that either formally through a committee or just at the meeting in the hallway when you go to pick up your kids or something like that.
We can't really hear you, Jack.
can't hear
I'm
you.
sorry.
Jack, you're a little too far from your mic.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was encouraged by the lady from the school being there. I think the next generation just gotta pick up where you guys leave off. And right now, you're doing pretty well with it, compared to where we were not too long ago. So I'm really positive about it. I wish I could learn to use this darn computer. The other thing is, the working is be spread anyway. So Maura, if you kind of grab a microphone when you get to the school, just just chatting to get other people invited, and set, the tree thing should be paid played as a positive for the town and for each individual who gets involved with it, including planting trees in their own property. I think there's a lot more energy than there used to be. I think the town council is getting more involved. I think that the council is important. Dave, your manager is the town manager is very positive about that kind of stuff. So I would just say go at it. You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Got Moshe, you're voting?
Thank you.
Yes, I'll vote aye.
Okay, that being said, we're prepared for our time. As is always, when you're having such fun, you just never notice the time.
Time flies.
And, so anyone care to close this down?
Is that what we do? We just kind of, because we pass the time.
Let me ask this, anyone else have on the phone here to have any, has any comments to make? Before we close, anyone on the Zoom call or whatever it's called? Okay, so that being said, Mr. Lutz has moved that we adjourn.
Second.
Seconds, anyone?
I'll second.
Member Fromheim has moved that. Everyone in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the Shade Tree Commission is adjourned.
Okay.
Good night, all. Good night.
You don't come early.